Do you know most American cars are scrapped before they ever hit 200,000 miles? People blame bad luck, bad brands, even bad roads. But the real killers? Bad habits, skipped services, and ignored warning signs. That's why today I'm sharing the exact 9 habits I use on customer cars in my workshop that have pushed them to 750,000 miles on their original engine and transmission. And the magic especially lies in the services done at 50,000 miles, which will save over $9,000 in major repairs. Let's get started. Habit number 9, brake system inspection and fluid condition check. By the time a car reaches 50,000 miles, the braking system has already saved the driver from thousands of accidents without ever being noticed. But here's what most people miss. Brakes don't just stop the wheels, they protect the entire car. When brake fluid gets old, it absorbs moisture from the air. That moisture lowers the boiling point and creates internal rust inside brake lines, calipers, and ABS modules. This is how small brake jobs turn into $3,000 ABS failures. At 50,000 miles, brake pads often still look okay from the outside, so many drivers feel safe delaying service. But inside the calipers, the guide pins may already be dry or rusted. When that happens, one pad applies harder than the other, causing uneven wear and hidden rotor damage. Rotors may also look smooth at a glance, but already be slightly warped from years of heat cycles, leading to steering shake during braking. A full inspection catches these silent problems early. Fresh brake fluid restores firm pedal feel, balanced pressure to all 4 wheels, and reliable stopping power exactly when it matters most. High mileage cars that reach 750,000 miles never skip brake inspections. Good brakes mean steady stopping, less suspension stress, proper tire wear, and safer emergency control. A simple brake service every 50,000 miles quietly protects the engine, transmission, and chassis without most drivers ever realizing it. Habit number 8, throttle body and intake system cleaning. By 50,000 miles, your engine is not breathing clean air anymore. It's breathing through carbon. Every modern engine recycles exhaust gases back into the intake to reduce emissions. That dirty air sticks inside the throttle body and intake walls like grease in a kitchen vent. Over time, this carbon buildup restricts airflow, causes a rough, idle, delayed throttle response, and even stalls at stoplights. Most people assume their engine is just getting old. It's not old, it's suffocating. A proper throttle body and intake cleaning restores correct throttle plate airflow angle and removes the carbon ring that forms right at the blade edge. This allows the mass airflow sensor to read accurately again and lets the ECU deliver the correct fuel to air ratio. The pedal feels lighter because the throttle motor no longer fights carbon resistance. Acceleration becomes sharp because airflow velocity normalizes instantly. Idle stabilizes because the idle air bypass is no longer blocked. Fuel mileage improves almost instantly because combustion efficiency returns. Most importantly, the engine no longer strains itself trying to pull air past sticky carbon walls, reducing long-term wear on intake valves, pistons, and timing components. High mileage engines that reach extreme numbers always receive intake cleaning around 50,000 miles. Skipping this service forces the engine to overwork every single day. Clean airflow means cooler combustion, better fuel burn, and thousands of dollars saved in sensor failures and idle control issues. Habit number 7, injector service. Fuel injectors are tiny precision sprayers. They fire fuel into the engine thousands of times per minute, but gasoline is not clean forever. It leaves varnish residue behind. By 50,000 miles, many injectors no longer spray evenly. Instead of mist, they drip. That creates poor combustion, carbon buildup on valves, rough starts, hesitation, and reduced fuel mileage. Drivers often blame spark plugs or sensors. The real culprit is clogged injectors. A proper fuel system cleaning restores perfect spray patterns. Combustion becomes smoother, power returns, cold starts improve, exhaust becomes cleaner, fuel economy increases. More importantly, the engine stops washing cylinder walls with raw fuel, one of the biggest causes of early engine wear. Cars that cross 700,000 miles never ignore injector health. Clean fuel delivery protects pistons, rings, oxygen sensors, catalytic converters, and valve seats. One injector service at 50,000 miles prevents a long chain of expensive failures that most drivers don't even realize are connected. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Habit number 6, coolant strength test. Heat is the silent engine killer. By 50,000 miles, the cooling system has already gone through tens of thousands of heat cycles, expanding and contracting metal every single day. Coolant doesn't just control temperature, it also carries anti-corrosion inhibitors, lubricants for the water pump seal, and electrolysis protection for aluminum and mixed metal engines. Over time, those chemicals break down. Once they weaken, rust, scale, and sludge begin forming inside tiny coolant passages that you can't see but that control engine temperature. At 50,000 miles, rubber hoses start softening from internal chemical attack. Thermostats begin sticking slowly instead of snapping open cleanly. Radiator cores collect internal mineral deposits that restrict heat transfer. A coolant strength and pH test shows whether the corrosion protection is still alive or already failing. An engine that overheats even once often never fully recovers. Aluminum heads warp, head gasket sealing surfaces weaken, oil oxidizes faster, losing its ability to protect bearings. High mileage engines survive because their owners treat cooling like blood circulation. Clean coolant keeps metal temperature stable. Stable temperature means controlled expansion, and controlled expansion is what allows gaskets, seals, and bearings to survive hundreds of thousands of extra miles without fatigue or failure. Habit number 5, suspension and steering component inspection. Every bump, pothole, curb tap, and speed bump sends a sharp impact straight through the control arms, ball joints, struts, and steering rack. By 50,000 miles, rubber bushings begin cracking from heat and ozone exposure, allowing excessive movement in suspension geometry. Ball joints slowly lose grease and develop internal play. Struts lose hydraulic damping pressure, meaning they can no longer control spring rebound properly. Tie rod ends begin wearing at the socket, introducing free play into steering inputs. Drivers don't always feel this right away, but the tires record every problem. Uneven tire wear is the first visible warning sign of camber and toe angle drift. Then comes steering vibrations from worn joints. Braking stability decreases as weight transfer becomes uncontrolled. If a severely worn joint finally separates, total steering loss can occur instantly. Cars that reach extreme mileage should never ignore suspension inspections. Tight steering reduces tire scrub and rolling resistance. Proper shock damping keeps tires firmly planted under braking and cornering. That reduces shock loading on transmission mounts, wheel bearings, axles, and even brake components. At 50,000 miles, a full inspection may not demand replacement yet, but it prevents catastrophic highway failure later. Suspension health is not about comfort alone. It directly controls safety, tire lifespan, fuel economy, braking performance, and how stable the entire vehicle remains as it ages. Habit number 4, battery health and charging system test. Most people replace batteries only after the car refuses to start. That delay silently damages the alternator, starter motor, and sensitive electronics. By 50,000 miles, even good batteries begin losing reserve capacity. Heat, vibration, and short trips weaken internal plates. A weak battery forces the alternator to overwork constantly. That excess strain overheats windings and voltage regulators. Then one day, the alternator fails, often misdiagnosed as just bad luck. A proper battery and charging system test at 50,000 miles checks load capacity, charging voltage, grounding strength, and reserve time. Weak batteries are replaced before they create a chain reaction of failures. High mileage vehicles protect their electrical system early. Stable voltage keeps engine computers healthy. Sensors function accurately. Fuel injection stays precise. Quiet electrical health keeps the entire vehicle aging slowly instead of suddenly collapsing. Habit number 3, drive belt and tensioner inspection. The serpentine belt quietly runs your alternator, power steering pump, AC compressor, and often the water pump. By 50,000 miles, the belt may still look fine on the outside, but deep inside, rubber fibers begin cracking. Tensioners lose spring tension. Pulleys develop silent bearing noise. When this belt fails, everything stops. Charging stops, steering becomes heavy, cooling stops. Overheating happens fast. High mileage cars never gamble with belt systems. Inspections catch glazing, micro cracks, and tension loss early. Replacing the belt on schedule prevents roadside breakdowns, sudden overheating, and power steering loss during tight turns. This one simple inspection protects the charging system, cooling system, and steering all at once. A $40 belt can prevent a $5,000 towing and repair nightmare. Extreme mileage engines stay alive by avoiding sudden mechanical chain failures. Habit number 2, PCV valve replacement. The PCV valve quietly removes pressure from inside the engine. Every combustion cycle creates blow-by gases that must escape. When the PCV clogs, which often happens before 50,000 miles, pressure builds inside the crankcase. That pressure forces oil past seals, into intake systems, and sometimes straight into the combustion chamber. This is how oil leaks start. This is how oil burning begins. And this is how carbon coats intake valves rapidly. A clean PCV system keeps internal pressure balanced. Oil stays where it belongs. Seals last longer. Ring packs stay clean. Fuel mixtures stay accurate. Engines that reach extreme mileage always maintain proper crankcase ventilation. It's a tiny part that controls massive internal stress. Replacing it on schedule keeps internal oil control perfect. Ignoring it slowly destroys gasket systems from the inside out. Habit number 1, exhaust and emission system. Inspection. By 50,000 miles, the exhaust system has gone through tens of thousands of hot and cold cycles. That constant expansion and contraction cause early corrosion on flanges, heat shields, and oxygen sensor threads. Oxygen sensors slowly lose response speed and accuracy as they become coated with carbon and fuel residue. At the same time, tiny exhaust leaks often begin near flex pipes, manifold gaskets, and weld points. Drivers usually don't notice these leaks at first because they are quiet and hidden under the car, but the damage is already starting. When exhaust readings become inaccurate, the engine computer receives false oxygen data. That causes unstable fuel trimming, where the engine adds too much or too little fuel. This creates higher exhaust temperatures, which overheats the catalytic converter and slowly melts its internal filter material. As restriction increases, engine back pressure rises, power drops, emissions spike, and fuel mileage slowly collapses. High mileage vehicles inspect exhaust systems early. Small leaks are sealed before they grow. Oxygen sensors are tested for response speed. Heat shields are secured to prevent vibration damage. Most importantly, catalytic converters stay protected from overheating and raw fuel contamination. Proper exhaust flow allows the engine to breathe out just as easily as it breathes in. Intake and exhaust always work as a matched pair. Extreme mileage engines survive because their emission systems remain accurate, unrestricted, and fully sealed throughout their entire life. Besides these 50,000-mile services, every car also depends on the simple basics to stay healthy for the long run. That includes regular oil changes, filter replacements, transmission fluid service, spark plug replacement, where applicable. These are the foundation services that quietly protect everything you drive every single day. And if you want to know the exact time and mileage intervals for each one of these essential services, the full breakdown is covered in another video right here on this same channel.